everybody, welcome back to my travel vlog, and today we are going to be discussing saving tips to travel the world. So this is my second saving video. I had such a huge response for the last video that I did. I think that was about 2 years ago. Yeah, and I had such a great response from that. I decided to make a second one. Here are 5 saving tips that you can use to save money to travel. So tip number 5. Use cash instead of your credit card. When you're using your credit card, you tend to just swipe. You don't feel it. You don't feel it because you're just handing over your card. But when you have cash in hand and you see that those bills are depleting, you tend to feel it more. There's a pain in your soul. At least there's a pain in my soul. When you notice that those bills are diminishing, you feel that so much more than when you have a card and you're just swiping and you don't see the consequence right in front of you, you know? So ditching your card for a while before you travel and just sticking to the cash that you've budgeted out for yourself, definitely one of the best ways to have you accountable. Tip number 4 is a sure way to make some extra money. If you have any old items laying around the house that you are not using, whether it's electronics, your computer, even headphones, an old cell phone that you're not using, coats, dresses, shoes, whatever have you, you can take all of those things, instead of throwing them away, you can take all of those things and you can put them up for sale on the internet. It's a marketplace and there is a buyer for everything. So instead of throwing out that couch, you can just sell it online. Or instead of throwing out that dining room table, just sell it online. Give it a try and see what happens. It won't hurt to just try, right? Tip number 3 is to cancel the majority of your subscriptions. For example, I subscribe to HBO for the Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones ended that Sunday night. That Monday morning, that subscription was canceled. We have a lot of things that we are subscribed to, whether it's an electronic magazine or it's a streaming service. Whatever it is, if you have found that it's been 30 days and you have not used that subscription, I advise you to just cancel it. If that is being charged to your account every single month, that adds up. So definitely unsubscribe where needed, for sure. Tip number 2, after I did the vlog for the 8 saving tips 2 years ago, my friend, she sent me a message and she was like, did you tell him how you turn off all of your power during the daytime? And I was like, what? I can't believe I left that one out. So here's the thing. When I was living back home in the Bahamas, when I had my apartment that I missed so much. So what I noticed was there was a breaker for like almost every light in the apartment, and a lot of the power I was not using. I was not using any of the outlets on the balcony. I was not using the hallway lights. I never used that. I was not using, that power in those particular areas in my apartment. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn off all of these breakers. So I kept the breaker on for the fridge, the stove, microwave. I kept the breaker on in the dining room area where the internet plug, internet modem. So I kept that breaker on. I kept the breaker on for the bathroom, and that was it, because my apartment had a lot of natural light. The entire wall was just glass. It expanded and it was just glass. So because of that, it was so much light that came through. So during the daytime, I really didn't need it. At night, I mean, I'm not one to really entertain guests. And so because of that, I didn't have the need for my hallway light to constantly be on. I had a small hallway. I didn't need the light for that to be on. If the bedroom light was on, the bathroom light was on, the kitchen light, what else do you need? It's just too much. And so when my friend said that and I told her about that, I was like, girl, I turn off everything. If you are not using it, turn it off, unplug it, turn the breaker off, turn it off. So number one, it's not really a saving tip that you could utilize every day for different situations. This applies solely to traveling, and this is a way to save money, not before, but during your trip. So number one is to travel with a buddy. One of the larger bills that you will acquire while you are traveling is definitely your accommodation bill. That is going to be one of the top tickets in regards to expense. I find that when you travel with a friend or you travel with a family member, they alleviate a lot of that financial burden because you tend to split the bill. So you split your Airbnb cost, you split if you're catching an Uber, which I always advise against. Public transportation is so much better. But let's just say that you are taking an Uber. Chances are you're gonna split that, right? And if you run into any type of financial stop or financial wall or anything like that, if something happens, at least you know that person is there to have your back. And the only thing I would tell you in regards to traveling with somebody, to bringing somebody with you, is to make sure that that's somebody that you get along with really well and somebody that understands you, because being in such close quarters is different from hanging out at work or your family member that you only see every few months or whatever have you. So make sure that, you know, the person that you're traveling with is somebody that knows you well and that's very tolerant of you and your personality. So that's it. So that's the number one tip. And of course, I always do a bonus tip. So the bonus tip is the exact same bonus tip that I gave in the last video, which is to make sure that your bills are paid up before you go on any kind of vacation. Going on a trip to, I don't know, to Thailand, to Vietnam, to Paris is one of the greatest experiences that you probably will have in your lifetime. However, you don't want to cripple yourself financially because of that, you know? So that was the bonus tip. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my travel vlog, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.